Why do I go to church?
I go to church because I grew up in the church and I can't imagine my life without it.
I had to figure out how or why to come to church on my own.
For me, church is important because Jesus found me on a Sunday and He saved me on a Sunday. When God's promises for a whole new life for me were revealed on a Sunday.
I didn't go to church for probably 40 years, and I needed to find God in my life.
I had been coming since I was born. I was baptized as a baby, and we just always went to church. And we moved away and then came back, and I just didn't know where to go to church. I didn't want to be the new person, you know. I didn't want people staring at you, and or all coming up all at once. And, however, it's just uncomfortable to be a new person.
When I was a little kid, whatever church was on the corner, that's where I went, whether it was Baptist or Methodist. I couldn't go to the Catholic church, though. Nothing against the Catholics, but my mother wouldn't allow it.
I came back to church because something was missing in my life.
And I love the church, God's house, and it's a great place to be. Wonderful people.
It's strengthening, and when you go out into your workplace or your family life, you can get hectic, and you need to be encouraged and to be challenged at the same time by pastor's messages.
Whenever you're surrounded by so much negativity and lack of faith, and the way that you live and work, it's so good to come here where there's so much energy and passion about Christ. And I think that's important.
Because my family doesn't believe, so I really I like to go to church and have a family that does believe, so they can understand my beliefs, and they can understand and share it with me. And so I really enjoy going to church and sharing my love for God and Jesus with them.
And I just finally decided to come after my mother-in-law had come, and I sent my kids, and then I just felt so welcomed here. I even went to church school, if you want to call it. That's what we used to call it. I went to Sunday school, and everybody was so accepting. I felt like I belonged here. And then I just kept coming, and it just kept feeling like I belonged here.
To learn about God, and so you can know more about Him. So you can learn about Jesus too, and learn about.
I needed something, but I couldn't figure out what it was. And when I moved to my new neighborhood approximately 6 years ago, I became friends with the Beeries, and I thank God that I moved there because they gave me back what I needed.
But it wasn't until I received Christ as my personal Lord and Savior that I realized that in order for me to grow and be more like Him, I needed to hang out with people that were like Him. And what better place than church?
Some of the other things I like about church is to work with the children, and obviously, and other things is also relationships with the people that I meet here.
It's so great to see other friends and know more how to pray for them. See what their situations are, what they're going through. And this really gives a good way to pray, a better way to pray for them.
I lived a very depressed life prior to coming back to this church. And everybody that I've met here, and God has brightened my days, and I'm glad I'm back. That's why I come to church.
Coming to church to me is important because I need to be with my fellow members. Otherwise, I tend to steer away and fall back, and I just always need to be constantly reminded on moving forward and getting close to God. And the closer I am to the Lord, the closer I am to my wife. And I love the closeness that we have.
Amen.
Now I go to church to play. I mean, that's the bottom line. I love to play. I love the kids. And guess what? You can learn about God by playing games and singing songs. And I love church. I love coming to church on Sunday morning.
The time here on earth is a time preparing for when we get to heaven. And so this, besides reading God's Word at home and praying and reading more, it just helps you be prepared the most for when eternity comes.
And even though I praise Jesus every single day, I'm never closer to him than I am when I'm in his house on a Sunday.
And every time I had come, they said, we need each other. People need each other. We need each other. Constantly, I heard it in Sunday school. I heard it in church, in the songs we sang. It got through. And I realized I needed fellowship. That's what was missing. I never knew it. It was fellowship. So worshiping God is really good. I love coming to church and worship God. But having that fellowship is just the icing on the cake, the added something that you're missing. I understand why the verse says, do not stop meeting with each other, because we need each other. I'm needed, you're needed, we're all needed in some way. So I come to church for that.